Welcome to another episode of the Irregular Show. I am the host with the most, aka Sleepy Melbourne, in the building. And I do apologize for the late chapter review reaction. I've had a lot going on. Started another channel called Creative Renaissance Library. We do long form stories. So if you're a fan of like Overlord, that's over there. We're also going to start doing some Don Machi content over there. That'll be just full audiobooks of the light novels. So yeah, if you're interested, go check it out. But now, back to this Tower of God. We have Urek and Tangium, which means dust. And that's what I'm calling him from now, is Tangium, because that's what Urek called him. Kind of going back and forth. And it's funny because Urek knows that he could kill dude at any point, and it's just trying to provoke him to like initiate a duel so they can both just like fight. But Tanganium is he's chickening out. He's trying to act like he's sparing Urek and like giving him grace, but we all know that is not the truth. That is not the case. He's just afraid to fight Urek, and so him saying, "Oh, I'm a test administrator, so I can't be getting into this type of like nonsense with you. This is not like before." And so, yes, it is. No one cares. You gonna get what you deserve, and we just waiting on it. Also, we find out that Urek is pretty much going through all of the test areas and helping out the other, um, basically regulars. He makes his way to the scout location where the administrator basically had everybody take a picture of the top of somebody else's head. And if you were able to do that, that means that you would instantly win. Or not instantly win, you would just be able to remove them and whoever was the last man standing would win. But she didn't like articulate the fact that she's included in the competition, and it's like, you're a ranker. There's no way for us to like do that in this current like realm. So all the test administrators seems like they're looking to have a way for them to fail, except for Davion, most likely, who we get to see is having everybody kind of wait 30 minutes for Urek to show up because he's saying, "Hey," and excuse me, that test was for the light bearers. We're leaving the test for the scouts. And he went to the test for the light bearers. I do apologize for that. But yeah, back to Davion and the fisherman test. He said we're going to wait 30 minutes. So we have them kind of complaining about it. And then once the princess says that she's down with waiting, excuse me, everybody else agrees pretty much. And so they wait. And then we get to see a scene where Urek, Evelyn, and Lou find another scout who happens to have made it outside of the test area faster than them, which he finds weird, but he goes ahead and leaves because he has some other stuff to do. But we get to see the Queen Dolphin's face, and it says, "What am I going to do with this kid?" I'm curious to see like what she's thinking. Does she have some like feelings about this other scout that made it out, or is she just thinking about Evelyn? Not really sure where that's going to lead. But, like I said, Urek helped the light bearer. It was only one by the time he got there, finished passing his test. But, hey, I figure that he prioritized Evelyn and Lou and people that he knew before anybody else. Especially since, like, Leo seems to have, like, a different situation going on. And so after he helps the light bearer by taking a picture of the woman's head, he disappears and ends up getting to his location because that's where he wants to be. Now it is time for him to take the fisherman exam. But that's kind of where it stops. We break off with him showing up and kind of guessing, like, basically just predicting that Davidan would only give them 30 minutes to arrive. And so the test for the fisherman position is about to begin, and it looks like Urek is ready to throw down. And then we switch to Mago's castle, where we have the crew member and pretty much everybody just standing in readiness. It's like a break in between battle, and we have the long haired crew member doing a sound check, and pretty much he can hear the inside heartbeat of people. And so he's hearing a sad ballad from Leo. He's hearing a hardcore maelstrom from Asa, and then he's hearing some kind of sound that's completely different from a heartbeat. And so I'm interested to see what's going on. The heartbeat is completely different. It's a line from a movie, which means to have an unbreakable essence. In other words, it means that Mago has not been corrupted by the tower, that she has firm convictions, or that she is still a pure spirit. But that's probably just because she's like aligned with herself and super self-centered. But that's really all that happened. Kind of like a transition of like, all right, this is where things might get a little interesting. We'll probably start the next chapter with Mago and the Kun family and see where that heads. Hopefully we get to kind of see. I don't want the Kun family to die. I like them. I'm partial to Kun family members, so hopefully if they're not going to be able to like handle Asa and them, they're able to like escape and get the information, or at least Urek shows up and turns into like a bigger ordeal than just them being there and failing at what they're supposed to do, and like then Urek comes too late. But other than that, make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment below. Goodbye.